guess I might as well record this. For anyone who's tuned in and doesn't know, the weekday streams are coming to a close due to just job search related reasons. So I'll just be streaming the more important events like tournaments. Well, basically just tournaments really, and whenever I feel like it. So I might stream for speed runs and basically go for whatever I want. For now though, it's going to be a tournament, and I have brought with myself a very standard Skaven build up against Felkon, playing as Tic-Tac-Toe's faction. So I'm suspecting he'll likely be bringing Pterodon Riders. To counter, I've decided it's best to throw in a couple of Rattling guns. They'll be stealthing up. And how's the range? How close am I to the white line? What's these guys' range? 120. I need to be up just a tiny bit. But yeah, I'm expecting Pterodon Riders from him. I'll shoot them with the Warp Lightning Cannon, but he will likely be able to dodge. So the next runner-up is once they get into my actual lines, I need to have my Rattling Gunners really focusing them down. This single entity blob with the Storm Vermin should be able to secure the front line engagement. Plus, with a ton of summons, they should last for quite a while. That's basically the idea. Yeah. The hope is I can just shut down the Pterodon Riders with this Warlock Engineer. I'll be using Howling Warp Gale, and then just focus firing down the other Pterodons with these Rattling guns. So fingers crossed that all goes okay. Felkon is ready. So let's go ahead and dive right on in. All right. So it begins. Did say he was ready, right? Yeah, he said good luck, have fun. Worried if I might have started it too early. Come on, Felkon. It's killing me. I need to know what you brought. You brought enemy size of 1,100. Continue to wait. That's correct. Don't put units in a straight line. I think a sort of loose-ish formation can work out well. And there we go. So Felkon, he has indeed brought Pterodon Riders. And I'm going to reposition some of my troops. The Teeth Breakers are going to stealth, reposition. And then the Skaven slaves are going to be pointing and firing. It's a mostly skink army, except for the feral cold ones, but essentially all skinks. And I just need to secure this flank. So my left flank is actually not very important. Felkon's going for a bit of a flank overload, so I can group these guys up a bit tighter to defend against the feral cold ones. And then the Teeth Breakers are going to move up. They're going to try to shut down these Pterodon Riders. Same with the Warp Lightning Cannon. The Warlock Engineer, of course, with his nets should be able to do fairly good too. So first things first, let's see if I can get these guys into range. And just hit them up with the Teeth Breakers. Nice. Looks like that's going okay. Squolf needs to get as many summons down as he can. And looks like the Teeth Breakers are doing okay. And next up, I need to make sure that I can actually net down a few of these Pterodon Riders. And then take them out too. That'll give me a pretty nice initial advantage. And then my single entity force here should be able to do just fine. With Skulk, we don't have any Winds of Magic for summons, as I did use that mostly on a bunch of nets. And there's also Dread Saurian coming in. Now, with my current forces, it's not especially scary. In fact, I might even be able to focus fire it down. So I'm going to bring in my single entities on over to it, and just see if I can duel it out. Volk, with his buffs, should be able, or at least in this case debuffs actually, gonna be able to hurt most of these guys. Do pretty well on that front, and the Dread Saurian with the slows and the Hellpit Abomination should be dying pretty quickly. Let's see here for all of these red-crested skinks. I'm gonna see if I can get a breath attack on them. That did miss. But the lead is looking good so far. Especially with the Teeth Breakers doing so well against the Dreadsorian. I'm feeling fairly confident here. Most of the Pterodon riders are shut down. And I just have to kill off these single entities, really. Chase them down with my own squad and rely on the Hell Pit Abomination to do most of the carrying on that front. I have lost a lot of my weapon teams, though. And there are a good number of Pterodon riders still online and operational. The question is whether or not he can actually kill off all these single entities once this Dreadsorian is down. And now that it's actually running, I think I'm in a pretty good place. Let's go ahead and grab the Council Guard to chase it down. They are unbreakable, and we'll be able to pretty easily catch up to it. And let's see, yeah. It also gets them away from the Arc of Sotek, which will be throwing down a lot of AoEs. But it looks like the Dreadsorian, it actually does rally. That's a tiny bit scary, because now it's going to be coming back and causing a lot of issues. A big charge could actually kill off a lot of my single entities here, so that's definitely pretty scary. But HP is still running high over here. Squolk with his many summons should be able to fare decently also, and he's going to have another AoE in just a second. There are actually 2 Bastiladons. It's a very interesting choice from Felkon. How's his ammunition doing? It's not doing amazingly. It's very good for me, because otherwise he'd be able to snipe out my Hell Pit Abomination. That would be absolutely terrible. Now for the Dreadsorian, I'm going to wait for it to engage before I use Squolk's AoEs. And then hopefully I'll be able to melt down most of this blob. Dreadsorian is in range. Let's go ahead and hit it up. I'll kill off the rest of the Pterodon riders with Squolk's abilities. And then that should be the advantage that I need here. I just have to make sure that Squolk doesn't die by pulling him into a safer position. And how are the Council Guard doing? They're doing pretty good, actually. So I think this battle should be mine, but it really depends on how well this Dreadsorian does. It's going to be a close one for sure. And let's see, still has a good amount of single entities too. It hits my Hell Pit Abomination, but I finally get a dive in on top of it. It's about to rout, so I think I should be okay. As soon as it gets routed off, things are going to be a lot better for me, and there we go, it is now gone. Which means that the next thing are these Bastiladons. Squolk is in a bit of a scary position because Felkon's microing his single entities to focus fire him down. So I'm going to bring in the Plague Priest to try and provide some mass to get Squolk into a safer position. The next scariest thing to lose would be my Hell Pit Abomination. We definitely don't want to be losing that. And honestly, the Hell Pit is getting pretty low. Squolk can boost up its leadership though if it does get any lower. So I think on that front I'll be okay. Let's go ahead and maneuver it away from that Manticore summon first though. Throw in an AoE and see if I can get its leadership back up. That Manticore summon is causing a lot of issues. Plus the Dreadsorian is back. It's gonna be pretty scary. Squolk has another AoE in 20 seconds, so if I can actually just survive long enough to get there, then I should be okay. This Plague Priest is still online and operational. The Hell Pit Abomination, it does rout, and Felkon will surely be able to chase it off. Let's see, as for Squolk's leadership, he's at 64, so he's still okay too. And with his AoE in just a second, I should be able to stabilize here. But it's definitely going to be a close one. Let's go ahead and throw that down. It looks like Felkon is actually coming out on top. And I think he might have done it with the crazy full skink build, but we'll have to see. A big summon will be helping out a ton. Tic-Tac-Toe takes a lot of damage from Squolk. He's on the verge of routing, but if he can actually take out this guy, that would be it. But Squolk Terror routes. An absolutely terrible turn of events, which means that it's just the Plague Priest now. Squolk is probably going to get chased off, but if he does rally, that'll save him for sure. Let's go ahead and bring in my infantry to try and support there. and then just see if this Plague Priest can do it. This Skink Chief also is poking away at Squulk, so I'm going to try to disrupt him with my infantry to save my lord. Plague Priest still continuing to get in his damage. Squulk will be coming back. I do have some Skaven slaves on the fringes that will be coming in too. So I'll send them in to distract this Skink Chief, and then we'll see. That's enough to get a victory. Tehenuin, not Tic-Tac-Toe, my bad. Actually Tehenuin in this fight, continuing to battle away. He actually gets knocked down pretty far, and this Plague Priest might just be the hero that wins it. It really depends on how well it does against the Bastiladon, and I have no idea if he'll be able to secure that fight. It's not the best single entity duelist, and I think that's gonna be it. See you, and well played. Oh my goodness, Felkon coming in with the crazy build, with the sweet, with the sweet Dread Saurian play. Actually having it rally was the main problem for me. The Hell Pit Abomination did well in the single entity fight, but the double Arc of Sotek Bastiladon engines were actually quite a big help there. Now I think the major misplay I made was during those single entity fights. I wasn't maneuvering and microing well enough to really get them into the positions they needed to be. And from there, Felkon was able to pick off key targets like Squulk and the Hell Pit Abomination. As for everything else, oh look at that! The Poison Wind Mortar actually didn't pay for itself because of the build. So all in all, pretty good. I think the Poison Wind Mortar could have been shooting more at these red-crusted skinks too. They got more damage than they should have. But yeah, very fun build. And that's gonna be it.